Okay, brief Rekieta update. I should explain that there was an appeals hearing for the body cam footage, and the judge really chewed out Bromka, who was representing Hardin in the body cam footage thing. Now, the body cam footage is several ongoing cases, and but there was an appeals hearing for the criminal one because effectively what happened in the criminal case is that Bromka was allowed to intervene by the judge, but then the judge says that there was no point to him intervening and there was nothing to give him, so it doesn't matter. Then they appealed that, and the appeals court judge asked him for about 10 minutes out of 15 minutes of oral argument, why should he be allowed to intervene, which isn't even the point because he's already been allowed to intervene in the lower court. So it looked really bad for Bromka. He was quite frustrated by it. But it really feels like the appellate court had it out for him. So they are going to continue appealing it regardless. And there's other avenues going on. But I'm sure Mr. Rekieta feels great. I'm sure like Mr. Rekieta feels like this is... It broke! Oh, no. The greatest meme I ever came up with is just broken now. Why did it do that? What? It played like a second of... Oh my God. I can't believe it. Not only is it a total Valdo victory, I can't even make fun of him for having a total Valdo victory because it's been taken from me. It is. It's like broken. You can't do this to me. Can't do this to me. I'm a patriot, goddammit. Dude, it's like totally fucking broken. Oh my God. Okay. Well, I have egg on my face. I can't even... Maybe it's a sign. It's not a total... I'm being a Debbie Downer. I got to be a positive poly chat. That's what God's trying to tell me by ripping the total Baldo victory out of my own hands, chat. Anyways, so this guy called Runkle. He was doing a charity stream, and Kurt was there. Kurt's continued existence in anything anybody is doing ever is a mystery to me. He seems like a miserable fucking guy. And he puts Bengay on his asshole on camera. I just don't understand what's going on with him. Maybe he's nice, but I think he was complaining about being unmarried, and he's like 50. And I was thinking about like buying a Filipino or something. And it's like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on in the Baldoverse. I don't know who Runkle is. I don't know what the point of a charity stream in the middle of November is. I don't know what's going on with Kurt. I don't know what's going on with legal mindset and him trying to fuck a hippo. All right. And I'm afraid to say anything because anytime I say anything about Nick Rekieta, I get all sorts of mean, angry comments from all the boomers who hate Nick Rekieta and like, you got that wrong. It wasn't this. It was actually that. It wasn't 7 days. It was 8 days. Look, I don't want to deal with this. Apparently, Nick Rekieta tricked Runkle to let him on stream with Kurt. Actually, I am a member. I'm like subscribed to Nick Rekieta's locals, so I get email alerts for all his posts, and I noticed a lot of them are about Kurt. Like he just, you know, like Kino Casino puts a title up that's like iDubbbz felted, this other guy felted, Hambly poor, like that's the title of his video. Like Rekieta does this too, but it's almost always Kurt bad, like in some variation, like every stream he launches. So I think like he's trying to like A-log Kurt, who's... I want to be real with you. I would not have fun A-logging Kurt, okay? The whole point of A-logging somebody, okay, is you take somebody who's well off but is like an asshole, and then you break them down. Now, poor Rekieta, poor Kurt, this guy, he's like trying to feel better about himself, and he's like kicking as low as humanly possible. And it's just like, is this how low you have to steep to find someone lower than you, Mr. Rekieta? Look, he's old and unmarried and alone. Very funny, says Rekieta, as his life falls apart and his adult children move away and want nothing to do with him. And then Kurt left because he didn't want to be on stream. Now, I want to say this as well. This is Shia Land. This Shia Land woman is the nastiest whore I've ever seen. I have never seen this fucking whore with her clothes on. And I want to frame my disgust in a way that you can more easily understand. When I was 20 something, early 20s, my mom was at a bar and I was a responsible party. She messaged me and says like, "Hey, RDD drank today. Can you come get us?" I'm like, "Sure, whatever. I'm playing Dota. I got time for my mother. I'll stop playing Dota to go and pick you up at the bar and drop you off wherever the fuck." So I drove out and I'm sitting there. She's like, "Let me go get my friends." So she goes inside the bar and I'm in the parking lot waiting patiently. I'm observing my surroundings. I distinctly remember that there was one disheveled man in his 50s or 60s who was going around and literally drinking the backwash of all the beer that was left out on the outside tables. And this woman approached me, and she was also early 50s or so, and tried to hit on me. And it was so awkward. I just kept saying, "I'm just here to pick up my mom and her friends." And it took like 4 or 5 reiterations of that before she finally says, "Sorry, that was stupid of me." And she walks away. And it was extremely, extremely awkward. And I was just playing it cool, right? Okay. I am reminded of that woman when I see any picture of Gia Lan, the lowest of the low, basically a digital barfly lot lizard. Just the most disgusting kind of flesh puppet you could ever parade around for sexual purposes. And this is who Nick Rekieta is associated with. And I have absolutely nothing but contempt for her. Next. I don't know what the fuck that was. I'm not playing it. Fuck her. Okay, so after this, apparently he got made fun of because he basically wedding crashed a charity stream and chased off one of the guys trying to raise money for some kind of charitable purpose instead of being a good sport and not interrupting and causing discomfort for the other guests. So people made fun of him on Twitter, and apparently he crashed out. So let's read these, shall we? Rekieta Law says, "I didn't weaponize anything. I found it hilarious because all I said was, 'Hey guys,' and he was shrieking about me joining a charity stream before I was even on. The literal last thing I wanted was any drama. I apologize for my presence being offensive." I mean, there are ways to apologize for that, in case you're sincere. He says, "You showed up antagonistic. You're later bragging about successfully bullying Runkle's friend off the stream. Don't lie to people, or if you're going to, at least have the decency to be better at it. It's insulting to lie to so transparently to people who try to help you. You didn't shriek about anything. He quietly left. You chose to comment on it. You chose to mock it." The words of a ghoul who didn't want any drama and didn't want to weaponize anything on a charity stream, not enough to care for his own kids. He must also deprive other kids. Oh, because it's a charity for children. I don't know what the charity event is for. What is the charity event for? Does anyone know? I'm looking at chat now. Sorry. I was kind of ignoring chat while drifting off into space, thinking about days of Christmas past chat. Call Me Sean says, "Correction, I think. Pretty sure he was shrieking about Nate joining from the hospital before you joined, not you. Maybe there was a direct mention." Children's hospital. Dude, never, ever do a YouTube fundraiser for a children's hospital. You're asking for lightning to strike you, basically. Drew Applecross says, "Yet you ran over Camelot's stream and boasted I ran someone off the stream just by showing up. That wasn't weaponizing." Ian Runkle says, "Man, you also weaponized my stream for your..." Oh, even the dude's pissed. "Weaponized my stream for your beef. I greatly misjudged a whole lot. I'm going to have to figure that shit out when I'm rested enough to think. But that wasn't fucking okay." Kurt had perfect self-control. He walked away from a bully instead of doing the internet equivalent of popping the bully in the nose because Kurt knew that would derail the stream. You instead showed up and decided this is the perfect place to bully a guy. Kurt leaving the moment you join makes him the only smart one on your panel. Sunken Cathedral says, "You just love glorifying drugs. You should be on step 12 by now, but of course you don't have what it takes to get past step 1, which is admitting that we became powerless over drugs and alcohol and our lives had become unmanageable, but you don't even have a sponsor." Rekieta says, "Good, fuck off." There's, when I make fun of Fenestride, my boy Finster, I can make fun of his twink death. And I can do so with absolute impunity and assurity, and knowing I am 100% correct. There will be a day, regardless of how much money he's making right now, or how good he feels about himself after facial feminization surgery number 4, that twink death will cometh. And one day it will be extremely obvious, and no amount of filter or makeup or angles or lighting will ever make it less obvious that he is a gay man pretending to be a woman. And I can chortle at that because I know that twink death comes for all gay men in dresses. And when I talk about Rekieta, and I laugh at him. He can brag that he got off of his prison sentence, and he can brag that he didn't get any jail time whatsoever, but his enemies did. And he can go off and off about how arrogantly successful he is, and so on and so forth. And I just know, you dumb motherfucker, it's gonna get you one day. Nobody's this braggadocious and arrogant and narcissistic without one day the other shoe falls. And I can just sit here and I can laugh, even knowing that some things don't always go my way, even when I'd like them to, because I know one day the other shoe's going to drop and it's going to be really, really funny. And it's going to be really, really satisfying because there's no other conclusion. There's literally zero other possible conclusion to the Nick Rekieta story arc than a satisfying comeuppance.